Hi, welcome to Modern Day Deborah, Voice for the Voiceless. My name is Michelle. Welcome to my channel. As you can see by the title of this message, your husband is looking for you, but he can't find you behind your walls. It's based on a message the Lord gave me back in March. And I know it was for me, but he has since confirmed that it's not only for me, but that it is for other women as well. So I am going to be coming from the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verses 7 through 14. And basically, your husband is looking for you, but he can't find you behind your walls. And these walls that I'm talking about are not, emotional walls. Just like there's physical walls, there's emotional walls. And these are walls that we put up that we don't even realize that we put up. We don't realize that we have walls up from past relationships, past abuse, past hurts, past rejection. We don't realize that we have walls up because of the things that have happened to us in the past. And so we have to let go of those things. We have to let go of the hurt. We have to let go of the pain. We have to let go of the unforgiveness. I often say that holding on to unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the person that hurt you to die. It doesn't serve you at all. It doesn't benefit you at all to hold on to unforgiveness, for the person that hurt you, or maybe even the people that hurt you. You just have to let that go. We have to let go of the things that are no longer serving us. And I can guarantee you unforgiveness is no longer serving you. Whatever you have, however you may feel about what you've experienced in the past, holding on to it is not serving you anymore. It's no longer serving you. You have to let that go. And I get it. I've been hurt. I've been hurt. Just unimaginable experiences that I've had, not just in my adulthood, but also in my childhood. And I am going to talk about those things maybe in my next video, if God releases me to do so. But I did talk a lot about my testimony in my first video that I did for this channel back in December, I believe it was. It was the first one. I believe it's called Single Ladies Waiting on Marriage. Your waiting time is your preparation time. And it's also, I give my testimony, a good portion of it in that video. But allow God to do the work in you that needs to be done so that you don't enter into these relationships with walls up. And I just believe that he's giving this message now because you may already be in a relationship with somebody and not even realize that this is your kingdom spouse because of how you've been hurt. You got these walls up that and it's natural. It's a human response because you don't want to be hurt. That's just a human, that's what we do. It's a natural thing to do. But God is bringing it to your attention now because he don't want you to miss out on this, on the kingdom spouse that he's bringing to you. This person is he's not like anything like the last person that hurt you or that you were in a relationship with, or maybe in previous relationships. He's not like them, them little boys that want to play mind games that only entertain you while they got other options, if you know what I'm saying. They not serious about being in a relationship with you. They are, like I say, they playing mind games. They still entertaining other options, still entertaining other opportunities, still not really sure you're the one, or maybe that's just how they are. They just playing mind games. And they can do that to you if you're not in a position where you're solid, standing on the word of God and waiting for the right one. And I'm telling you something, there are men out there that will prey on women they know that want to be married. They know you want to be married. They know what to say. They know how to act. They know what to do. And so this is the reason why you have to be in the presence of God. You have to have your ear to the mouth of God. You have to allow God to be the deciding factor on who this person is, and not you, because you may have in your mind a certain way you think this person is supposed to be, or you may have somebody in your mind that you, oh, that person is perfect for me. He does this and this and this, and I can see us in ministry together. And that you don't know what kind of demons that man may be fighting. You don't know what he got going on in his life unless the Lord has shown that to you. And so we just have to be mindful that we are not settling for somebody just because we get tired of waiting. And that is the reason why a lot of the times we end up in relationships where we get hurt again, because we're not waiting. You get tired of waiting, and then you think, like I said, if you watch my video that I talked about my testimony, I was married for 25 years, and then I've been divorced now for 8, but then a couple of years after my divorce, I thought I was ready to be in a relationship, and I wasn't. But I also was not in the right mindset. I didn't care at that particular moment, and I'm really not proud to say that, that I was in a position, that I was in a very low place in my life. And yeah, I was a pastor, assistant pastor in the church. Your title don't make you exempt from experiencing stuff that other people experience. I was in a low place, and I did not even go to God and ask God if this was somebody that I should have been in a relationship with. I didn't care at the time. I was in a low place. I was still hurting. God had done a lot of work in me. He had healed me in a lot of areas, but I still was experiencing hurt in other areas. And I wasn't allowing God to heal me. And so for whatever reason, I was just in that low place. And I didn't go to God and ask him if this was somebody I was supposed to be with. I wanted to be with somebody at that time. I wanted to be quite honest with you, sometimes we just get tired of people judging us. Like, when you gonna, you know what I mean? When you gonna get married? Why you not in a relationship? And I have just had to learn the hard way. It wasn't time. It wasn't time. You can't be in a marriage for 25 years and experience, all the things that I experienced in that marriage. Emotional abuse from, and not just because of the infidelity. That was, I don't care what you, if you think that that abuse is just physical, then you don't understand the definition of abuse. Is emotional abuse is real. Just because you don't see the physical scars does not mean that it's not abuse. And so if you're in a relationship and you're experiencing infidelity, especially if it's repeated, that's a painful thing. That will cause you to have emotional damage, psychological damage. You are just mentally damaged. There's a lot of scars that people don't see because it's not physical. So I just want to relate to you that just because a person is not putting their hands on you doesn't mean, and for a fact they're verbally abusing you, or they're emotionally abusing you, or they're psychologically abusing you, in whichever way it is, doesn't mean that that's not abuse just because people don't see the scars. That's a really bad mindset, if you will, that society has, that abuse is just physical, and it's not. If you're in a relationship and you're experiencing a lot of loss, if you're experiencing infidelity, you're experiencing hurt, betrayal, whatever you're experiencing, if that's what you're experiencing in that relationship, you got to be mindful of the fact that, and I'll share, and I think maybe in the next video a little bit more of that, and why I stayed, because people always want to judge why women stay in abusive relationships. Well, it's a lot of reasons why, and I have learned not to judge. And another reason why I don't judge, because that's my life's work. I work with abused women. Granted, the majority of the women that I work with is physical abuse. They have physically been abused, and a lot of times the person that physically abused them has been arrested. So I understand that abuse comes in many forms. So I want to relay that to you, and I'm being transparent because I pray that it will help somebody else. In other words, I'm saying I was in a marriage for 25 years where I was enduring a lot of hurt and a lot of pain and a lot of betrayal. That's what I experienced, for 25 years. You can't think that you gonna just in 2 years later, you divorced, and 2 years later you ready. And I'm not saying God can't do it, because God can do anything. But you have to allow God to do the work in you so that you don't end up back in that type of relationship. What I see often with women who are abused, physically abused, is if they leave the person that they're in an abusive relationship and they don't get counseling and they don't get healed and they don't have people to be accountable to help them stay away from the abuser and have somebody to talk to, have a support system. If they don't have those things in place, they either end up going back to the person that abused them, get into another relationship that's abusive, one just like the one they just got out of, or one worse, because you're not allowing God to do the work in you that needs to be done. And so your husband is looking for you, and he wants to love you the right way and be that kingdom spouse that God has presented you to, or will present you to, because in some situations, some of you may already be in a relationship with your kingdom spouse. You may not realize it yet, or maybe you do, but you still struggling because you got these walls up. You got these walls up, and naturally you're going to have walls up if you've been hurt and you've been abused and you experience rejection, not just in your adulthood, but in your childhood. You got all this trauma that you experience, trauma in the childhood, trauma in adulthood. And now, you're have yourself in the mindset that you want a kingdom spouse. You have to be a kingdom wife. If you're looking for a kingdom spouse, you have to allow God to prepare you to be a kingdom wife. And so if you're going through things, if you're going through some healing, and I told God, I don't want to just be healed. I want to be whole. Being healed and being whole are two different things. And I found that out the hard way. And so I've been on this journey to wholeness for the last 6 years. And then even last year, where I was experiencing a lot of stress and a lot of things in my life, I had to get psychological counseling. And we need to stop putting a stigma on mental health. Like, if you need to get some mental health counseling, get it on top of your spiritual counseling. Because I was receiving both, because that's what I needed. You may have to get that. You may have to have both, depending on what you're going through. Just like in domestic violence, there's a specific thing that these mental health counselors are trained in to help you deal with your trauma. And so whatever the work that needs to be done in you, allow God to do that. Allow him to do the work. Don't look at your waiting time as a punishment or why everybody else getting married. Just trust and know that God knows what he's doing, and he's preparing you for the person that is going to blow your mind. He's preparing you for the person that you're going to wake up in the morning and be like, what just happened? And so if you are in a relationship with somebody and it's your kingdom spouse, you may not realize it yet, or you may not have realized it at first, because you got these walls up, and the walls are because of things that have been done to you in the past by other men that want to play mind games, other men that only, that want to entertain you while they entertaining other options and other opportunities. This man that God has for you, this kingdom spouse, he's not going to play no games. He's going to pursue you the way that a man is supposed to pursue a woman. And I want to read to you Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verses 7 through 14. This is what the Lord gave to me. And I want to, I really want to I want you to just kind of listen to what, and I'm doing the Message version. I'm reading the Message version because that's the version that really kind of more clearly define the way God gave the word to me. And it was a word for me, but like I said, since March, he, and over the last few days, he has confirmed to me that it's for other women as well. And so let me read Song of Solomon chapter 2, verses 7 through 14. Message version says, "Oh, let me warn you, sisters in Jerusalem, by the gazelles, yes, by all the wild deer. Don't excite love. Don't stir it up until the time is ripe and you're ready. Look, listen, there's my lover. Do you see him coming? Vaulting the mountains, leaping the hills. My lover is like a gazelle, graceful, like a young stag, virile. Look at him there on tiptoe at the gate. All ears, all eyes ready. My lover has arrived and he's speaking to me." And this is what he's saying. "Get up, my dear friend, fair and beautiful lover. Come to me. Look around you. Winter is over. Spring flowers are in blossom all over. The whole world's a choir and singing. Spring warblers are filling the forest with sweet strains. Lilacs are exuberantly purple and perfumed, and cherry trees fragrant with blossoms. Oh, get up, dear friend, my fair and beautiful lover. Come to me. Come, my shy and modest dove. Leave your seclusion. Come out in the open. Let me see your face. Let me hear your voice. For your voice is soothing and your face is ravishing." But he know how to talk, don't he? He know what to say. I was reading, I was like, wow, God, this is just this. It was just so in tune to what he was saying to me about how these kingdom spouses that he's putting us with, how they're going to pursue us. You don't got to pursue him. You don't got to, this ain't somebody that, he texts you today and you wondering why he ain't text you, in a week, but he's still on social media. No, ma'am. This man is going to pursue you, and he's going to pursue you the way a man is supposed to pursue you. And you may not even recognize it because of what you're used to. And that's what this whole message, if you will, is about. That's what this is all about. Is about not dismissing somebody because they're not coming in the package that you thought they were going to come in, or they're not, he ain't got no title, or he's not. Don't miss it because you expect it to come a certain way. This is what God told me years ago. He said, give up what you had in mind. Give up what you had in mind, so that, we're not, we got this idea in our head of how this person is supposed to be. And I just truly believe he's going to be nothing like you thought he was going to be. Because there's a lot of counterfeits out there, and you can be found because, it's a lot of men out there that's willing to pursue you, but not the way that a kingdom spouse is supposed to pursue you. He's going to respect your purity. He's going to respect the fact that you want to wait until you get married. He's going to respect your boundaries. He's going to pursue you the right way. You're not going to have to question anything. You're not going to have to question anything. This is what. And I wrote this down because I want you to hear this. A counterfeit is an exact imitation of something with the intent to deceive or defraud. In other words, the counterfeit will come as an exact replica of the kind of man you desire. Now, come on now. Y'all know the devil know what you want. He know what you like. And he will present something to you in a package that look just like the real thing. And this is not the real thing. This is somebody that's going to seem like the real thing at first, but just hang in there a little bit. Hang in there a little bit. And then after a while, the real them gonna come out. And it, unfortunately, it might be after you done got emotionally attached to this person, or you may have even, have feelings for the person, maybe even love the person. So don't open this is why this scripture says, don't awaken love before it's time. Don't open yourself up to men that don't mean you no good. And like I said, if it's a counterfeit, you may not recognize it. It's important to you or for you to be in the presence of God. If you are seeking or not seeking, if you're waiting for your kingdom spouse, then you have to keep your mind on things of the kingdom. Understand that keeping your mind on things of the kingdom, Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all of these things shall be added to you. So you have to understand that God is God. He's a wise God. He's not gonna present you to somebody that is gonna hurt you and do all of those things to you that the last person did. He's a wise God. But what happens is we miss it. We may miss it because we just expect that's all you're used to is somebody you on walking on eggshells because you just waiting. Well, he probably, he probably gonna cheat, or he probably gonna do something stupid, or he gonna do what that can't be your mindset. Not when you're waiting on a kingdom spouse, because the kingdom spouse ain't gonna do that. That cannot be your mindset, that just because the last person cheated on you is that this person is gonna do the same thing. Like I said, get that out of your head. Get those images, get that hurt and all that stuff out of you that's no longer serving you. God, that's not what this kingdom spouse is about. He's not about mind games. He's about pursuing you in a way that in a godly way, respecting you, respecting your boundaries. And it's gonna be like nothing it's gonna be like nothing you ever expected or experienced. That's the way God gave it to me. He's not gonna come in a way that you're accustomed to. He's not gonna be like anybody that any other relationship that you previously had. This one is you ain't gonna even see this one coming. You're not gonna even see him coming. You're not gonna see it. The way that it's gonna happen is just gonna blow your mind. You just and it's going to be because he's done a work in you. He says, behold, I do a new thing. I do a new thing. Can you not perceive it? He not like the old, I've done some work in you. So now you're ready. You're ready. You've allowed me to do the work in you. You have died to your will and what you want and how you want it. And, you've sacrificed and you've done all of these things. You may have even been experiencing some disappointments and maybe the person that you were in a previous relationship is still, doing crazy stuff to hurt you, or, saying stuff or doing, and you have not uttered a word. You have just trusted God, because vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So you have trusted God with everything about you, everything about your life. And you have just entrusted to him that, okay, God, I'm just going to allow you to do the work in me that need to be done so that I can be healed and whole when the right person comes. Don't awaken love before it's time, but when it's time, don't have a wall up so that you miss out on the person that God is bringing you together with. Don't, just because you got a list and he ain't meeting all the check marks, don't do that. Don't do that, because this person, he may not be the way that you expected. He may not have a title. He may not, he may not be this, don't be so religious and thinking that it's got to be, a certain way. Yeah. I know it's kingdom spouse, and I know he got kingdom ministry, and I know it, but don't be so much in your head that you miss out on what God is doing, because that person may not come in the package that you think they're supposed to come in, but you don't know what's in that package. Just like you see somebody that look like the right package, and then you've been in a relationship with them, and you kind of start to see signs of some things that, wait a minute, that this is starting to look a little bit like the last one, because that's not the one. God, I'm telling you, the way you know it is that he's not anything like the last person. God is not going to send you a kingdom spouse to run game on you, or that's, kingdom spouses don't do that. They're very intentional, because God has spoken more than likely to them about, how or maybe they've prayed for a person like you, or to have a kingdom spouse, or they're looking for their kingdom spouse. But just don't have in your head, you got to get that image out of your head of how you've been hurt. And God has sent you somebody that is like this, like this man, like he's saying, Oh, get up, my dear friend, my fair and beautiful lover. Come to me. Come, my shy and modest dove. Leave your seclusion. Come out in the open. Let me see your face. Let me hear your voice. For your voice is soothing and your face is ravishing. He also says that the winter is over. The winter rains are over. They're gone. Spring flowers are in blossom all over. Your winter season is over. That season of men that misuse you, mistreated you, dogged you out, that season is over. Your winter season is over. You're in your season to blossom. This is your spring. You're in the season of spring, where it's your time to blossom and be in this relationship with your kingdom spouse. I do want to interject though about being ready, and again, don't awaken love before it's time. Make sure this is the person. I'm not saying open yourself up to love before it's time. I'm not saying open yourself up to somebody that's abusive. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that in most cases, God has given you some inclination or confirmed to you. That's why it's important to have a spiritual mother in your life, a pastor, your first lady, or whoever, a spiritual mother in your life that you can talk to, that can that you got another set of eyes that can pray and will confirm to you whatever. If you say this is what God says, they could either confirm, they should confirm to you, maybe they prayed about it and they can confirm to you that, yeah, okay, this is, you say this is what's going on in this relationship and you feel like this might be the one, or maybe you just nervous and it is the one, and you just, you clam up, or you got the walls up because of what you've already experienced. And this person, your spiritual leader or your spiritual mother can, kind of help you get through some of that process. Like I said, I had to go through spiritual counseling and also mental health counseling because of all the trauma that I experienced. So make sure that you're getting that spiritual counseling. And if you have to get mental health counseling, then don't have this stigma attached to that. If that's what you need, that's what you need. But make sure that you're in, you're getting counseling concerning, specifically if you've been in an abusive relationship. Make sure that you're getting that counseling, and that you have somebody to be accountable to. I want to talk about having walls, emotional walls, and the difference between having emotional walls and boundaries. Because when you come from behind that wall, make sure that you have boundaries, and you keep your boundaries in place. And sometimes we may just not know the difference. And so this is the reason why I want to say that there is a difference between walls and boundaries. A boundary is a deliberate line that you draw with people that defines what is and is not allowed to be done to you. They are communicated and consistent, and they are more about keeping yourself, your emotional state, and your well-being intact. And they are about keeping others out. Boundaries allow other people to be with you, but not use you or abuse you. Boundaries say, I'm not letting anybody use me, abuse me, or take me for granted. And you can come in, you can be with me as long as you abide by the rules. But you will not disrespect me, talk down to me, and you sure ain't gonna put your hands on me. They're gonna respect you, they're gonna respect your boundaries. But emotional walls are put up as a means of self-protection, and they are built out of fear and as a result of being wounded. Walls say, I will never allow myself to be hurt again, and I'm not letting anybody get close to me. Unlike boundaries, which only keep people out that don't want to follow the rules, walls don't discriminate. They keep other people out, but they also keep you in. They keep you prisoner. So I pray that God would allow us to, or that God would give us the wisdom to know the difference between having up a wall or having up an emotional wall or emotional walls and boundaries. That he would give us the wisdom to know the difference. Teach us how to establish boundaries and not walls. And I pray that we would have the courage to be honest with ourselves about where we are mentally, physically, psychologically, and most importantly, spiritually. I pray that we allow God to do the work in us that needs to be done. Don't think that because you're still waiting, something is wrong, God mad, or whatever. If you are still waiting, then this is your time to allow God, let God do what need to be done. There's some work that he's still doing on you, still working on him, working on you, working on the situation, working behind the scenes. Just because you don't see it, don't mean he's not working. Doesn't mean that he's not working. This kingdom spouse is going to respect your boundaries. You don't have to, if you got to sleep with him to keep him, that's not your kingdom spouse. I don't believe that God is going to allow you to be with somebody or present you to somebody that has that mentality. That's not kingdom spouse mentality. I hope that something I said in this video, and like I said, I am going to do another video where I'm talking a little bit more about my experiences and my testimony. But I pray that something I said in this video will help you. And if you know somebody that may need to hear it, I encourage you to share it with them. I also encourage you to go and watch my video. I think it's called Single Ladies Waiting on Marriage. Your waiting is your preparation time, and my testimony. So I do speak somewhat about it, but I am going to get a little bit more in detail about things that I've experienced and why it's so important to allow God to do the work in you that needs to be done. So if you got something out of this video, I pray that you did. Give it a thumbs up, like it, share it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Hit that notification bell as well so that you can get notified when I upload a new video. Again, make sure that you are not putting up walls, but you still should have boundaries. Remember to guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. I'll see you in the next video.